We live. We live. We live. What up, people? It's Job Wigs, all about the biz. You know what it is. It's Wednesday, 8 p.m. ish. So you know what that means. It's time for EPG Biz Talk Live, where we like to go behind the scenes, behind the brands, and talk to some of the city's hottest growing entrepreneurs. You know, we like to go behind the label. We like to go behind the products because we rarely get to see what's going on behind the scenes. As we know with branding, branding is about that image that we convey as entrepreneurs, that image that we put out there for the public. But that doesn't necessarily always reflect the entrepreneur themselves. So just because I put out a playful image for my brand, that doesn't mean I'm always in a happy mood. Just because I may be sophisticated on my branding, that doesn't mean that as a person I'm sophisticated. So what we like to do is, again, we like to go behind the brand and find out the who's, the what's, the where's, the when's, the why's, and the how's to find out how exactly some of these entrepreneurs did it. So, for those who don't know, my name is Jamal, CEO and owner of Empro Graphics and the Fantastic Book Fair. And as you know, we got a lot of different things going on throughout the year. So, the first thing I want to do is welcome everybody to the show. If you're tuning in on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're tuning in on Facebook, make sure you follow the page. And if you're tuning in on Instagram, make sure you stay in the loop and keep the chat busy. Today, we will be talking to Miss Siobhan Chin of Flick the Fireworks. Now, this is a company that's been all over social media recently. If you're out networking, if you're out at different events, you're going to see Siobhan popping up here and there. Why? Because you know what we like to say, it's all about networking and it's all about building. So we love to shout out the entrepreneurs. So shout out Siobhan Chin and Flick the Fireworks. The first thing I want to do, people, is let you know about some upcoming events in the EPG network. So the first thing I gotta let y'all know is about the Durham Region Holiday Pop-Up Marketplace. Now, this is the fifth annual event. Every year it gets more popular. We gain more traction. So this year for 2003, we had 3 dates scheduled. The first two have passed. They were successful. Entrepreneurs were out there hustling. The patrons came out and showed their support. And we are prepping for day number 3. As you can see on the advertisement, that is Sunday, December 10th, right there, Ajax Community Center, 75 Centennial Road in Ajax. People, we are there from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's free admission. Again, we have free photos for all the families. So make sure you come and get your free digital photos. It's free admission. We got face painting. We got giveaways every single hour. And people, we have a couple more surprises that we're going to be releasing over the next couple days. So make sure you stay posted to my social media. Again, if you're watching in the chat, make sure you post your business in the comments so we can give you a shout out. We can give you a shout out and we can big up your business. So, talking about business, we have a couple more events I want to just let you guys know about after the holiday pop-up shop. As you know, we're part of the Fantastic Book Fair Collaborative. So we have linked up with Manifest Bookstore. Manifest Bookstore has a new location in East York Town Center, and we are helping them launch the store with a beautiful event called Holiday Bliss. So we're going to be featuring local authors every month. We're going to get to some of those names over the next couple weeks as well. And people, we have a special feature. We have the African Father Christmas making a special appearance. That is Kente Claus. You can come, you can get your photo taken with Kente Claus from 12 to 3 p.m. People, again, the digital photos are absolutely free. How do we do this? People, we just do it. We love community. We love supporting local business, and we love to see entrepreneurs doing the thing. So everybody always asking me why. You know what my response is? Why not? So make sure you're there December the 16th. And let me give you a little sneak peek as we ring in the new year for the New Year, New Year, New Year, New Gear Cheers event happening as well, Manifest Bookstore. So we have 4 local authors we're going to be featuring at each event. And don't forget about the February, because we're going to be celebrating Black History with a literary celebration. So people, before that, you know what they say, all work and no play makes Ja a dull boy. So you know I don't like to be dull, so we like to keep things active. We like to make sure people have a moment to enjoy themselves and to have a great time. With that being said, people, I gotta let you know about the event happening Saturday, December 16th at Diamonds Lounge in Pickering, an event we like to call Juggle and Bubble. Now that bubble, depending on what you're into, that could be a dance, that could be the bubbly from the champagne. Either way, people, make it a date and don't be late. It's all about Juggle and Bubble holiday style. Now, special for the ladies, all ladies have line bypass until 1 a.m. And people, even better than that, we are offering 2 event tickets for $20. So make sure you ask me for the online link, or if you need physical tickets, give me a shout. It's all about Juggle and Bubble happening Saturday, December the 16th at Diamonds Lounge, featuring Joshua Lucas, Soca Sweetness, Lindo P, Renegade, Megawave, K No, Gaza 3.0, and DJ Top Notch. And we have some special guest hosts and a couple more features. So make sure you stay posted to the social media. It's all about Juggle and Bubble. And people, again, I want to let y'all know today we're going to be speaking with Siobhan Chin of Flick the Fireworks. I see Siobhan in the green room, so I would like to make sure we get everything good to go. And people, if you're watching on the social media networks, whether that is Instagram, whether you're watching on YouTube, or whether you're watching on Facebook, if you have questions that you would like to ask Siobhan about her business, about her journey, make sure you post it in the chat, because we're staying connected to the chat and we will be answering some of those questions live. So let me do an early shout out to some of the people I see tuning in on the Instagram. I got to shout out Dr. Patsy. I want to shout out Thea's Creations. I want to shout out my boy Clifton Azorded. He's always in the network, motivating the crew, motivating the people. Also got a big shout out to Ecstasy Sound. People, whether you need sound system equipment, whether you need electrical services for your business, make sure you hit up Ecstasy Sound. People, the network is large, so we got to make sure we big up all the entrepreneurs. Again, if you are watching on the Instagram, what we want you to do is we want you to hit that arrow on the bottom of your screen. I'm going to do it with you guys just to show you how easy it is. We're going to hit that arrow on the bottom of the screen. It's going to pull up a menu. What you're going to do when you see that menu is you're going to go to the right side. You're going to hit all those open dots on your screen. You're going to hit all those open dots, all those wonderful users that you see on your page. We're going to click all those dots. You can do it with me right now. You can click all those dots. We're going to click all those dots right over here. And once we get to our maximum number of dottage, as I say, what we're going to do is we're going to hit that button that says send. We're going to send out this live to our whole network as well. If you're watching on Instagram, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, we're going to follow the same procedure and make sure that we share the page so everybody is able to get access to this great information that we're sending out. It's all about EPG Biz Talk, behind the brand, and we're supporting local entrepreneurs. Now, I see our special guest is in the green room. She's active, she's ready. People, I don't want to waste no time. Let's bring on our special guest right now and see what's popping.
Hey.
Miss Siobhan Chin, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Good night, good night, good night. How are you?
I'm good.
Blessing.
I'm good. How's your week going so far? They say it's hump day. So how's the week going so far?
Every day is a great day. We're
Well,
alive. We have opportunity. Every day is great.
well, I gotta give you a shout out there because I agree with you there. And one thing I gotta big you up for off the bat, as soon as we got on camera, you made sure that that camera is focused on your T-shirt. We gotta make sure we promote our brand and promote your business because, like I say, if you don't market your business and promote your business, then who's gonna do it,
Exactly.
right?
I'm a
So we gotta.
walking visual billboard. I think it's very important that not only do I wear my shirt on off days and in between days, but also when the customer sees you. So they just can associate your name with your brand and your visual, actually.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about branding. It's all about making sure you're visible, making sure that the patrons are able to get access to you, right?
Absolutely.
So, Siobhan, our show is about bigging up entrepreneurs. We like to get behind the brand and talk to the entrepreneurs, find out a little bit more about their stories and how they got where they are. So, the first question, I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it basic. The first thing we want to know is, who is Siobhan Chin?
Every time you say Siobhan, it sounds so weird coming from you.
I know, I'm trying to keep it, businessy. You know what I
Right,
mean? I'm
right,
trying to
right.
keep it businessy. So, Siobhan, who is Siobhan Chin?
Well, Shvanchan is the fireworks lady. I am the go to destination for all things fireworks, indoor, outdoor, and we've now expanded into drones.
Okay, okay, okay. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get to where you are today, or what's your background, or let us know about Siobhan Chin.
Well, you and I are well versed in the sound clash arena. So, there's also the fine china aspect to it. For those who know the fine china, that's a whole different person than Siobhan. So, I appreciate you separating the two. It's funny when you go places, it's easy to identify where people know you from just by how they identify you, right? Um, so, Siobhan, also Miss Topaz. So, shout out to Topaz. So I was initially radio, G View. I did all of that background. I left the radio and moved into the restaurant. So we got Topaz up and running. Topaz was established 2017. So we are 6 years in, as of May. Successful business still running right now. For anybody who's hungry, likes Jamaican seafood, big up you yourself, Wiggums, because you're always out there supporting, the food. So you're an attestament
I
to
can
what the
attest to it.
food
I was
is.
there twice last week, so you're definitely right there.
There you go. So for anybody who's hungry, you could always shout out Topaz. But recently I moved into fireworks. So I left Topaz officially a year ago to put my full-time efforts into Flick Fireworks. I still do the behind the scenes stuff at Topaz. Um, but my focus right now is on driving Flick Fireworks to the world. It started really a couple years ago. I was just selling fireworks just out of my trunk, and it just was at holidays. And in between the holidays, I'd always get calls and saying, "Hey, do you have any more fireworks?" And hey, or late at night, I'd get the calls from just family and friends. They needed fireworks, so I said okay. And then when I noticed the in between fireworks, in between the holidays, was almost more than during the holidays, it just kind of spun into more and more. So I loaded up with the fireworks, and then the fireworks for personal sale. So my shop online is open 24 hours. You can buy fireworks every day of the year for any reason. We're here to challenge you to rethink fireworks, not just at holidays, but for personal reasons, for personal milestones. Like we just said, every day is a day to celebrate. Every small accomplishment deserves some kind of a celebration. Some people drink, have a drink. Some people go out for dinner. For me, even my youngest one, she did good in school the other day. She finally was listening. We came home and we did sparklers. So, it doesn't always have to be something big and in the sky. You can do little things just to celebrate you.
All right, all right, all right. So one thing you mentioned is that we've known each other for a good amount of years. Now, one thing I always have to big up Siobhan about is Siobhan, I would say, is one of those ultimate hustlers. She's always out there working. So, like she mentioned, she was co-host on a radio show for a couple years, and then there was a couple times when she was working at Topaz. She was selling drinks, so I know she was all over the city delivering fresh juices. So there was a couple times I met up with Siobhan to buy juices. After that, I used to see her in the restaurant all the time. Every time I go there, whether it's a nighttime party or whether I'm over there to buy food, Siobhan is out there. And then I see her popping up doing these fireworks. And as she mentioned, people, she's open 24 hours. And when I say she's open 24 hours, she's not just open 24 hours, people. She's actually working 24 hours. Many times I pop open my Instagram in the middle of the night, and the first post I see is a couple minutes ago from Siobhan doing deliveries. I was actually surprised that people are buying fireworks so frequently. But as you mentioned, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead, continue.
But as you mentioned, it's not just for holidays and big celebrations. They can be used in between the holidays for different events, different celebrations. And I've also noticed that different cultures use fireworks differently and at different frequencies. So I definitely want to co-sign everything you've mentioned and also big you up for that as well. Because personally, I love when I see people elevate themselves and elevate their business, and some people you see stuck in one place, but I love to see people moving and elevating. So I want to shout you out for everything you're doing with your business and everything I've seen you do over the years. So big up yourself with that.
Appreciate you. Yeah, well, for me, it was something different. Definitely you don't see very many black people in the fireworks business. And I went from just selling fireworks for personal use to somebody gave me a call and say, "Hey, can you put the show on for me? Like, I don't want to do it. Can you do it for me?" And I was like, "Okay." So then I went through and got all my certifications. So I'm a licensed certified supervisor pyrotechnician, official title. I'm now also training. I am a crew member for the drones, and I'm training to be a pilot. So I'm taking it always to the next level. Certification is great to have behind you. So at least when you walk in the door, you mean business and you have all the qualifications to do the job.
All right, all right. Well, you see, I'm learning things already because I didn't even really know that you had to be certified and get trained to do all that stuff. However, I guess when you're dealing with explosives, as they say,
Explosives,
you
yes.
can't just be a fly by night and just be selling everything like that. Now, again, Siobhan, you mentioned some of the different entrepreneurial journeys you have that you've been on, and your most recent into the fireworks. Who inspired you to become an entrepreneur in all these different aspects?
Ooh, well, my grandmother, as long as I've known myself, she's the greatest hustler that I know. And, my father is the greatest seller that I know. So that spirit of just getting in there and getting the work done has always been in my blood. Um, I got my first job, I would say I was at 14. In Canada, you're not legally allowed to work until you're 15. And I was so keen on getting the job that I went and volunteered at the place in May. No, I started in March and my birthday was in June. So I volunteered for the 3 months, learned all the aspects of the job so that by the time my birthday did come around and I was 15 and they were legally allowed to hire me, I was already fully trained. So self-sufficient as long as I know.
All right, well, big up on that. I love to see entrepreneurs start from young and flourish. So I guess that's why you have that hustling mentality, because it's been in you from since you were a teenager. So shout out to you on that. Now, you mentioned, you mentioned that people do buy fireworks in between holidays. So with
Yes.
fireworks, who would you say are your target customers?
Huh. Well, for me, like every time I get the call, especially the odd hour calls, I stop the customer. I'm like, "Hey, like, what are you using it for?" I get the guys who have the girlfriends who they want to woo, and he's like, instead of buying them a bag, I bring them fireworks. Do you know how memorable that is? And they go back and they tell their girlfriends, "Guess what? He did fireworks." So that was his in thing. Every time he meets a new girl, he comes in, "I gotta get fireworks." So I thought that was really cute. Just last week we had the Cricket World Cup. So I had a bunch of people come in and get fireworks for the Cricket World Cup. You have car shows. Another big thing that's been trending is funerals. people do a lot of tributes at funerals. You know, instead of the 21 gun salute, it's the 21 shots. So you still get, you know, the effect, you get the noise. Um, so that's been a real trending thing picking up. So a lot of people get the 7 a.m. calls. They're on their way to a funeral and they need. So I love the different reasons, and the more reasons that they have, the more inspired I am.
All right, lovely, lovely. So with the different fireworks,
Mhm.
um, do you who are your main competitors in the fireworks industry?
Well, right now, Kaboom is the household name. When you think of fireworks, typically in Toronto, you think of Kaboom. Just because of locations, they tend to have a trailer. They have a partnership with Canadian Tire. So if you'll notice, they're mostly in the Canadian Tire. You'll see a trailer for Kaboom in the Canadian Tire parking lots. Um, they are my direct competitor in terms of name, but I find that a lot of their customers have had bad experiences or feel like they're overpriced, so they'll come to me.
All right, I love that. I love that. Now, another question that we have is, who's involved in selecting the different type of fireworks that you sell and choose?
Well, there's two aspects of it. So for the fireworks that I sell, it depends on I go for per season because each season has different requirements. If we think about it, typically there's almost a holiday every month. There's Valentine's, there's March break, there's Easter, there's St. Patrick's, there's everything. So there's those holidays in addition to the big holidays, and then the in betweens. You have your Diwalis, you have your Chinese New Year. So I'm looking at a holiday every 4 to 6 weeks, official holiday. And in between, you have the independence of various countries. You have tournaments, you have baby showers, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, funerals. So there's always a reason to celebrate. You can be promoted at work, get a new job, get a new car. You had a great day. There's some people who are really struggling in life and, just to get out of bed. And, I've seen them say, I just light a sparkler and it makes me happy. And that alone is a reason for me. Okay, great. So
Well,
my goal is to be the household name that takes over Kaboom. And you think of flick fireworks.
well, I love that. I love that. Now, what I would say as well, different than Kaboom is your mobile.
Yeah. And my
Um,
availability. Kaboom is only open the holidays, only open holidays the week before and the week after holidays. So they don't do outside of holidays.
all right, you see, now that I think about it, that's what I've noticed as well. Only certain holidays you start seeing the trucks out there, but in the off season, um, I guess there's no Kaboom,
Right.
right?
And
So
then not only that, Kaboom is when they are open, they're only open standard maybe 11 to 7 or 11 to 9 maybe. So my target customers, I'm getting my busiest time is between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m.
all right, all right. So, in addition to some of the business questions, we like to throw a little casual questions in there, here and there.
All right.
So, I know you're into the music and you're into the entertainment. So, who is Siobhan's favorite musical artist?
Artist. Oh wow. Do we have a genre specific or just in general?
It's whoever, whatever genre you prefer.
Okay. There's something about Randy Valentine who will always be my favorite artist worldwide, you know. And then on top of it, he did a dub plate just for me. So that makes him, he's my number one. There's something about the melody in his voice that's so beautiful. Savannah.
Okay.
For those who don't know, a bit too shy. There's something so innocent in her voice. If we're gonna go R&B, I love a Jasmine Sullivan. She's got that soulfulness to her. For a man, I'm a Donnell Jones, Jagged Edge. Smooth on the R&B with a little
All
bit
right.
of reggae. You know,
I'd say you got a nice selection there. You got a nice playlist going on there. So I
yeah.
love that. I love that. All right. So let me ask you another one. So who's your favorite actor or actress?
Ooh, you know, I was really in love with Tupac, and I was convinced that we were going to get married and we would have children, and life would be really great. So, I never got my chance. I was just a bit too young. And, due to his untimely passing, I never got to be what I wanted to be. So I would definitely say Tupac is up there. Um, I had a thing for Tyrese until recently when he started speaking. Um, you know,
I know. I've been seeing his social media. Sometimes he goes on some
like,
crazy rants there.
yeah, if he would just, he'd be great again. But yeah, I would give it to those two.
All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, so I think what we're gonna do now is I think we are going to move on to the what's. We're gonna move on to the what's. But people, before we move on to the what's, we got to know a little bit about Flick Fireworks. So I just also wanna show you a little bit about Flick Fireworks. All right, people. So when I seen that video, when Siobhan submitted that video, the first thing that I noticed was the mini flicks, the mega flicks, the handheld flicks. So Siobhan, what are the different type of fireworks out there?
Okay, so in the video, the first slot is the outdoor fireworks, and the rest of them are the indoor fireworks. So the mini flick, the mega flick, the flick flower, can all be used indoor or outdoor. Those are typically used at weddings, speaking events, ceremonies. Obviously, outdoor fireworks are used outdoors. A lot of people don't attribute those to the indoor fireworks to pyros, but it's cold sparks, so it all falls under the same category of fireworks. So we do indoor, we do outdoor, and we do personal use for you to do yourself. So it's a full service. When you think of fireworks, we are your go-to destination. So if you want to do them yourself, we're here to help you, educate you, and provide you with everything that you need. If you want us to come out and do the show, we also can do that for you. So it's whatever you need, we make it happen.
All right, now I heard you mention you said something about cold and hot.
Yes.
What are those differences?
The cold spark fireworks are the ones that can be used indoors. They're like the sparklers that you touch with the sparklers that you put on a birthday cake or such. Those are all would be like cold sparks, as they get hot, but they only get hot to a certain temperature. Whereas the regular fireworks, they're explosives and they go into the sky.
All right, all right. So another question I have about the fireworks business or your journey in this fireworks business is what challenges or obstacles have you faced in the fireworks business and how did you overcome them?
Wow. Um, it's interesting because, like I said, there's not a lot of black people in this industry. And on top of it, there's not a lot of females in the industry. So to be black and female, I'm usually the oddball out. When I do the bigger shows, for instance, I did the London airport recently. I did the Trenton waterfront recently. Um, with those, you need like a crew of 10, 15 people um, in this industrial show. Um, to be the minority on site, you hear the comments, you want to address them, but not all the time everything needs to be addressed at that particular moment. So I think that has really been my challenge, is knowing when to bite my tongue and when to put things aside to address for later.
All right, I love that. I love that. And those are some real life challenges.
Man,
Like you said, the fireworks industry is typically you don't see females, you don't see African Americans. So you're taking your time and you're overcoming that. So based on what I see, you're doing a good job. So shout out to you on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
Now, what are some pivotal milestones or achievements that you've had along your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, from going from selling out of the trunk to an online store, that was a big step. When I got my certification in the fireworks, that was the big step. My next milestone is when I actually have my pilot license. I'm looking to open a store front. So I've got goals, milestones ahead, but I like the availability of being online. It just gives customers a lot more freedom that they can order online and pick up within 5 minutes.
All right. Now, I also seen you. I've seen you at a couple different events. I've seen you've received a couple different awards, and I've also seen that you recently were out with the mayor, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. So was that an event that you were just providing fireworks for? Was that a networking event? What was that about?
That was the IFT community funeral. Sorry, community festival. So the it's the largest Muslim festival that they have every year. It's at the mosque at Markham and Nugget,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's pretty big.
the big mosque there. Yeah. So they have an annual festival that they do, and I was there providing the fireworks for them. And the mayor was there at an appearance. So, as an appearance for them, I guess she was invited to the festival. So, I had the opportunity to ask her, how does she feel about fireworks? And she loves fireworks, as she says.
All right, all right. So you mentioned also that you're getting your pilot's license. So just so we can be clear for the audience, is this your actual pilot's license or is this for the drones?
So, to be certified as a drone, to there's different levels of drones. People use drones just to take pictures, or they have their cameras up and aerial shots and stuff. So you could use it for recreational, or you can be certified and become. There's different levels of certification within the drones, and the highest level would be a pilot. So, in to become a pilot, the basic training for the drone pilot and an aviation pilot passenger plane is the same training. So, you get the same license, you go through the same certification, you go to the same training. The only difference is if you want to have passengers or cargo, you have to have 10,000 flight hours in the
Okay.
air. So if you want to do that kind, then you'd have to also do the in-flight 10,000 hours of training. So that's the different levels of, but the certification and the training is the exact same because you're flying an aircraft.
All right. Well, that makes sense. And when you're talking about the drones, I remember checking out your social media, and I seen an event that you were at, and it was amazing. Looks like there was hundreds of different drones and fireworks and things like that. So, with that being said, what innovations or technologies would you say have been crucial to the success of your business or the growth of it?
Well, in working with the drones, so with the drones, it's picture just like being on the plane. There's the flight attendants that deal with the passengers, and then there's the pilots that handle the flying of the plane. So currently, I am a flight crew for the drones, certifying to be a pilot.
Okay, okay. So is that something that you just kind of stumbled upon, or was that something that you heard about and you actively seeked out?
Well, the fireworks and the drones kind of work hand in hand. The drones are kind of like the silent version of fireworks. So, and they're the future of fireworks because you can basically create anything you can imagine in the sky with the drones. The show that you were talking about that I posted recently, that was for the Niagara Falls Tourist Board. We had 100 drones in the air. Um, the company that I work with, they recently did the Super Bowl. They did the Kobe Bryant tribute. They did Hip Hop 50th. So it's a pretty large company that, with the drones, you need a pretty big crew, especially depending upon how many drones you're using. It's probably about 30 drones per person. So if you're looking at a flight path of 100 drones or 200 drones, you have to get crew accordingly. Just like passengers. When you have a certain amount of passengers on a plane, you have to have a certain amount of flight attendants. Same principle.
That is very interesting. Even when you say 30 drones per person, to me that seems like a lot to manage. But I guess that's what the training and stuff is for, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, what trends have you observed in the fireworks business, um, and and how do you adapt your product offerings to suit?
Well, like I said, the funerals has been something that I thought was very interesting. And personally, I really love the idea of, fireworks at a funeral. So for me, I definitely put that in, penciled that in. Kids, make sure my funeral will be at night where it can have a proper full fireworks and a proper sound clash. So for people who don't know or who don't like to plan, mine's is already planned. And
You
I
already
think
got
it's a
that planned
great
out.
tribute, for people who love fireworks to have a send off as such. Also, weddings and baby showers, joyful moments, anything that you really want to highlight with that families are gathered. It's a nice way to end the night.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with you there. All right, all right. So let me throw it casual again. What does Siobhan like to do for fun?
Tone clash.
I knew it was gonna be something like that, you know.
Well, catch me at a musical war. I do enjoy, the flinging of dub plates. There's something fireistic about it. And it's just right up my alley with fireworks. It's always explosives. You never know what somebody's gonna say. And it's just fun,
Well, as you know, I can definitely agree with you there because oftentimes when we're on the off hours, we end up seeing each other at different sound clashes and different
right?
events. You know, that's how it goes. You gotta have some fun sometimes, right?
Right. We gotta run in.
All right. So, Siobhan, with fireworks, um, where do you see fireworks in terms of like global reach? Is this something that's popular all over the world? Is it something that's primarily local?
Well, right now, Disney is the biggest fireworks user in the world because they do fireworks every night, in all four of their locations. So they spend, I think it's like $100 million a year on fireworks alone, and that's just one company. The global reach of the company last year, 2022, the industry spent 2.6 billion in fireworks. In 2025, they're looking to go to 2.9 billion in fireworks. So the industry is moving fire, and then the drones are also becoming more popular. So as the drones become more popular, that's also a whole nother industry within itself. And then drones can be used for promotion, drones could be used for land surveys, drones could be used in real estate. So there's many different diverse uses that the drones can be used for outside of fun.
All right, all right. So, Siobhan, let me ask you this. We know you're mobile, we know you're working 24 hours. Where is the furthest that you've had to physically deliver some fireworks?
Well, my delivery is one thing, shipping is another. So there's two aspects. It
Okay.
can be shipped to anywhere. The delivery is, I think the furthest we'll go deliver is Brampton, but I've seen people send their Ubers for everywhere. I've seen people come from Peterborough. I've seen people come from Barrie, especially in the off-peak hours where everybody else is closed and I'm the only one open. They're willing to drive. Diwali was crazy. I had people literally driving from Peterborough at 2 o'clock in the morning. Happy Diwali.
All right. Well, I love the accessibility. So, if there's people watching right now and love the fact that you're working on the off hours, where is the best place that they can find your products?
Online, flickthefireworks.ca. That's FLICK, flick, THE, the fireworks with an S.ca. But I do want to put the educational aspect out there for people. Now, we do want you always to be safe. We do want you always to follow the rules. We do always want you to read the instructions on the fireworks. We want you to handle them safely and to use them in a proper manner. For the people who were using the fireworks on the bus and being stupid, we don't support that. So our point is to be responsible and to celebrate responsibly so that we can continue to enjoy the beauty of fireworks. And like I said, the best thing is to we have our campaign is to be a good neighbor. So if you are going to do fireworks outside of the holidays, to either A, get a permit if you need to get a permit, B, to notify your neighbors, make sure that you clean up after, make sure you do it in a safe place. We just don't want anybody to get hurt. So never aim a firework at anybody, never relight a firework. Basic principle, common sense, and be safe.
All right. So now that you have safely put the disclaimer out there,
Absolutely.
I got to tell two quick stories
All
about
right.
fireworks. So I'm pretty sure there's lots of people that in my generation of times, I remember oftentimes when it's fireworks season, we used to get those fireworks in the poles,
The Roman
light them,
candles.
the Roman candles,
Ah,
and we used to have fireworks wars and shooting them across the street at each other. I mean, I know these are not things we want to do, people, but we used to do some unruly stuff back in the days. So you heard the disclaimer. You don't want to do those type of things, right?
never. Like, aren't you afraid of yourself catching on fire? Like,
I
this is
mean, I
fireworks.
mean,
Like,
yes, but that's why you gotta run from them when they're
never.
coming at you,
I have never shot a firework at anybody, and I would hope nobody ever does it to me. Not even in my younger age. Like, don't know why I'm bun me up. No, no, no.
Now, with that
French
being
China?
said,
Absolutely not.
I
No.
also have a story that always made me fearful of fireworks.
Okay.
So, a long time ago, about 10, 15, about 20 years ago, I would say, when I was like probably like under 10 years old, I remember I was in Sparrowways. There was some sort of fireworks celebration going on, and there was this guy who was lighting a firework. I don't know what went wrong, but the firework must have exploded in his hand and actually like blew off three of his fingers.
Mhm. These
So
are explosives. And the thing about it is, puss and dog don't have the same luck, as my granny would say. So, you could do it and, oh, I light the candles in my hand and it's fine and it's fine and it's fine. And then the next person lights it and it pops off in their hand, and they're saying like, why me? So, let's just try to never let the potential hazard happen, and let's be safe at all times. I never recommend even the ones, as I said, the Roman candles technically you can use in your hand technically, but I have heard of people where the Roman candle, the last one explodes in their hand and then they've had to go to the hospital. They had 10 shots were fine and the last shot popped off in their hand, and I'm saying, I'm reading the or I'm looking at it and I'm saying like, why wouldn't you have just put it in the ground? Like, was it worth that 2 seconds of fun? So yeah, it's always to be safe, to be secure, to put your firework. Most of them you can put into the ground. Some of them you can put on the ground, and even the ones on the ground, I still secure with a rock or something just so that it doesn't tip or it doesn't flip. Because if a firework tips or flips, again, it's shooting in the wrong area, wrong direction at people. So it's always to secure it, keep people as far away from it as possible. And the best angle to view a firework is not underneath it, it's at a distance. Because when you're under it, all you see is smoke,
yeah.
right? So the best to see the firework, your best angle to see it is double the distance of the fireworks.
Well, believe me, I'm one of those guys that as soon as that firework lights, I'm running as far away as I can. And sometimes I'm running so quick I look back and I didn't even light the firework yet. So what
Well,
is
they
oh
are
go ahead.
safe that, most of them are all one light. You can light them once and they go up 25, 50, 100 shots in the air, depending upon what you choose. And again, we do have fireworks on a budget. So our fireworks start from $3 and they go all the way up. So, we never turn around we never turn away anybody. We're here to work with everybody. There's a package for every budget, especially for you were asking about target markets for the families, especially with the kids. We love the kids. So if you come and I see a bunch of kids in the car, I'm throwing in a whole bunch of stuff. Um,
All
so,
right. So
I
bring
try to make
note. Bring
everybody.
note. Bring the kids when I when it comes to check.
That's it. I'm a stickler for the kids. I try to make every kid happy and at least put something in their hand. And they're really my target market because if they want it, they kind of put the pressure on the parents to come out. If the kids are nagging fireworks, fireworks, the parents are more likely to come out. So keep the kids happy and the parents come out.
All right, I love that. I love that. So let me ask you this: where's your favorite place to brainstorm new ideas or to test out different fireworks?
Ah, I'm a 4 a.m.er, so usually my greatest thoughts come between 4 and 5 a.m. That's when I'm usually up in the morning before I get my day started. And where do I like to test out fireworks? Um, I have this spot around a one place, around a one corner. Right? That, when I'm in a mood or I feel away, I can go in and that's it too. Sometimes you just need to get out some energy and you can say, oh, fireworks.
And just watch
Oh,
everything just explode and
you
light up.
see, sometimes somebody upsets you, you say, all right, guess what I'm gonna do? Fireworks.
I
And
like that. I like
you
that.
let it all go. So for me, sometimes it's just as simple as that.
Well, with that being said, I think I actually need to get some fireworks and just have it on reserve for when I
See?
get to those moments. Sometimes I might be doing this flyer for somebody, doing a package, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
I need a break. I need something to do. Run outside and go do some fireworks.
Right. And like I said, not all of them go into the sky. Some of them are, fountains where, it gives you this whole light effect and you can see, yeah.
All right, all right, all right, all right, Siobhan. Let me ask you this: where is the last place you went on vacation?
Ooh. So that space I went was to Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah.
All right, all right. I have some family in Alberta, but I still haven't been there as yet.
You know what you need to do? You need to go and take the kids. Because I went and I took my youngest to the Edmonton Mall for her birthday. And we had a fantastic time. We were out there for 3 days and we still didn't get to do not even half of the attractions that was in the mall. The flights are cheap to get out there is like less than $100 per person.
Oh, that cheap?
Really cheap.
Oh, okay. I think I might be going next week or something
Yeah,
then.
yeah, really cheap, and it's worth it. It's like it's just instead of going to Wonderland, jump on a plane with the kids and go across the way, book in a hotel for the night. And there's so much to do. Like there's the water park, there's a ski rink, there's a skating, there's the go train. There, I mean the go karts. They have an indoor whole roller coaster sitting. Um, like there's more attractions and there's a gun range, there's a movie theater, everything you can think of all in one place. The
Yeah,
largest mall in the world, the
I've
Edmonton.
heard of that mall so much different times. My mom went out there at one time and brought my nephews and stuff, and that's all they were talking about, the different activities in the mall, everything that's going on. So
Yeah,
I
and they have the
definitely got to.
hotel right in the mall. So you literally everything is right at your footsteps. You wake up in the morning, you say, "Okay, what are we doing now?"
And you're already in the mall.
Mini
Just
golf,
got to decide
everything
what you
is
want to do.
exactly. I think there's like 200 attractions in that mall.
All right, all right, all right. So let's get back to business. In your fireworks business, when would you say, or since you started, when did you have that aha moment to say, this is it, I love this is what I'm going to be doing?
The first time I did a hand fire, because with the fireworks, you can have it stringed up and have it automated where you can do it from a machine. So you
Oh,
press it and it bing and it goes bing. So there's an automated firing system. But when you get up close and you have the flares and you have to light it and the fireworks go boom and the ground shakes and you see it crackle and pop into the air, I was in love. That's it. I was done.
all right, all right, okay. So when did you officially launch your fireworks business, Flick the Fireworks?
I registered it officially 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and it's been going good since.
2021, yeah.
Well, I definitely
Onwards and
been seeing
upwards. So it was like,
elevation.
absolutely.
All right. So with that being said, in 2021, um, when did you experience, let's say, a significant setback in your business, and how did you get through it?
Um, in the same 2021, I had bought all of this stock, all this inventory, and then I was stuck with it. So I had got the stock, all the inventory, and I was like, okay, great. But how do I get in touch with the people outside of my own network? So I had the people who I knew, but how did I get in touch with the people who I didn't know? And how do people find me to know that I have the fireworks? So that was my biggest issue. And I was sitting there and saying, like, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? Like, I've got a whole garage full of fireworks. Like, what now? The season is over. We're in September. Like, well, what do I do? How did I fix that? I woke up one morning and I said, well, how does everybody else find everybody else? They go on Google. Duh. Right? How do you
Yep.
find somebody? You Google them.
You go and you Google them.
So I was like, okay, so how do people find me? How do I get on Google? And again, that was my 4 a.m. thought. And 7 a.m., I got up and I logged on and I got on Google. And 10 minutes later, the phone rang. And I was like, get the hell out of here. No, seriously, like it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Who's calling for fireworks at 7 o'clock in the morning? Get the hell out of here. And that was the first call. And an hour later, I got the second call. And it's just been going ever since.
Well, you know what they say? They say if you build it, they will come. And sometimes they
That was
come
it.
all
Like
hours of the day.
all hours. And that's why because I was literally sitting there saying, how am I gonna like how are people and then I was like, duh. And the duh actually turned into like literally 10 minutes later, the phone rang and I sat down there and I was like, God, is that you? Like,
Sometimes your questions get answered in different ways. So um again, you got to put in that work. You got to sit down and figure out the niche for your business, what's best for your business, and again, what's common that's out there. How do people find other things? How do they find everything else? And then you just apply that to your business. So I love that. So with all these different holidays going on, um local holidays, we got city holidays, we got cultural holidays. When do you start preparing for all these different major events?
every day. Every day. Every day there's a different festival, there's a different, as you said, cultural event, and some of the things I'm not even aware of. So when they call me or they come and I'm saying, oh wow, like that's great. Okay, let me write that down. So, every day I have to be on top of what could happen. What's the potential and again, people are born every day, right? Birthdays are every day. Wedding anniversaries are every day. So you have to plan for the everyday stuff and then you plan bigger for the holiday stuff.
All right, okay. So let me ask you this. In the fireworks industry or in any business, sometimes you got to disrupt the industry. You got to do your own thing. You got to create something that's never been created. So when do you think people are ready for disruption in the fireworks industry, and how do you plan on capitalizing on it?
Well, I am the disruption within itself. Um, when they see me on site, especially for the people who don't expect me and they don't know why I'm here, I become it's like, who is she? Is she here to bring the lunch? Like, she the lunch lady? Is she the no, I'm the supervisor on site. So, I like to be the unexpected force that nobody expects. And I use that to my advantage, really. Give them more than they expected and do it efficiently.
All right, lovely, lovely. Okay, so let me ask you this. Um, when do you see when do you see your business reaching its long-term goals?
Ooh, hopefully within the next 3 years. will give me my long-term goals that I've set, and then I'd be able to set new goals.
So what are some of those long-term goals or short-term goals that you've set?
Well, short term, the pilot license I will have within the next 6 months. I'm looking to open the store within the next 6 months, or at least a location. So just expansion, more branding, more awareness, more website. I think I might do a little overhaul on the website. So just bringing people, because a lot of people don't know what drones are, and just educating the public about the fireworks. So those are my two things right now that I'm focusing on.
All right. Now, is there when you're mentioning you want to have a physical location, is there a certain area that you're looking for? Are you trying to be in downtown Toronto? Are you in the
Oh no, we're
GTA?
in Scarborough. We ain't leaving the east side.
Lovely, 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 lovely. All right. So, other than Kaboom, are there anybody else in the industry that you kind of look up to or you use for inspiration?
There's Rocket, there's Victory. Those are the other fireworks companies that, depending upon where you're located, you may go to. Um, they all have a different aspect of the same thing. We all sell fireworks in one aspect of another. Kaboom is the only one that's only open at weekend at holidays. Victory and Rocket are open. I think they're open throughout the year, but their hours are very limited. So everybody's got a different aspect of the same thing, but I'm the only one that's open 24 hours. So when everybody else is closed, I'm open.
All right. Well, that brings me to my next question is why should a customer choose Flick the Fireworks over all those other brands that are out there?
Well, availability, affordability, and great customer service. Like, we're here to help you make your show better. So the first thing when I get a call, the first thing I say is, what is the occasion? Who is your audience? And what is your budget? So I think about the occasion, and then I'm going to say, okay, I would give you something different for a birthday than I do for a wedding. You know what I mean? So depending upon the level of bang you want, depending upon the level of elegance you want, do you want it to be fun? Do you want it to be elegant? Do you want it, is it for kids? Is it for adults? Do you want something that's silent? Is it pets? There are a lot of people have pets, and pets are afraid of fireworks, so they opt for the silent fireworks. So, we're here to understand what your situation is and elevate it to the next level.
All right. Lovely, lovely. So, throwing it back a little bit, earlier you mentioned a couple of different entrepreneurial journeys that you've been on. You mentioned that your parents had that in them, so you kind of seen them, and it kind of nurtured you to become an entrepreneur. Why do you think being an entrepreneur or an independent entrepreneur is vital for economic progress and societal progress?
Well, right now, especially in what's happening in the world, it's hard to find a job. Like, I was in Scarborough Town Center not too long ago, and they advertised a position in Bath and Body Works. And the line for the one job was around the block inside, around the block outside. And I was saying, this is not a high skill job. This is a basic common entrance job that's paying minimum wage. And the demand for that said job was so great. And I'm saying, like, I don't remember at a time in my whole life that it's ever been like this. Like, in my first job I worked for, I was getting $6.35 an hour. So when I'm seeing people now getting 17 and $16 an hour, I'm saying, what?
Careful,
Minimum wage?
you're dating yourself there.
Hey, hey, hey. I'm okay with that. A lot of people don't make it to see my age. I'm good.
That's facts. That is
You
facts.
understand what I'm saying? So, with in seeing the need out there so much, and to see what's going on, that as we're saying right now in Toronto, we're in a housing crisis. And I was doing the math the other day. Like, my background, what I went to school for was accounting and payroll.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother aspect right there. But if you do the math right now, a job that's paying $27 an hour, once you do take home taxes and everything, that's barely $1,500 every 2 weeks after taxes. And if we're seeing right now, average rent is 24, 25, $2,700. Like, how are you affording to live? It's virtually impossible. And if you're taking $1,500 every 2 weeks and you're paying your rent, how do you eat? How do you gas? How do you do anything else? So for me, it the math just wasn't adding. So it was easy enough for me to say, okay, let me dive into Topaz. Okay, let's get that up and running. Let's make that profitable. Okay, now I can branch off into something else and dive in deep and get that up and running and make that profitable. So if you put in the work, success is inevitable. That's my success story. Put in the work and success is inevitable. Not
All
I
right.
can't fail, it's inevitable.
It's gonna happen. You got to make it happen. So, with that being said, let me ask you this, Siobhan. We've heard a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, how you started off in a couple different avenues and you moved to the fireworks. And even within the fireworks, in these 2 to 3 years, we've seen you elevate from the back of your trunk. We've seen you get your website. You're on Google. Every time I see you on Google, you're also making sure the customers do the reviews. You're
Yes.
now 24 hours. You're going city to city. You have your future plans, your short term and long term goals about getting a physical location, getting your pilot's license. Now, what I want to know and what I think is important for the masses to know is why should somebody be inspired by your entrepreneurial journey?
Wow, I I've been through it all. I've been through it all, and the journey is not about, again, it's about the journey, it's not about the destination. And I've learned so much along the way. I've had the pleasure of working with so many great people along the way. And even now, in doing fireworks, just next week, I'm back at Queen's Park again. So, I'm starting to link with different people, and the community that you get to build in working with all these different entrepreneurs and meeting all these different entrepreneurs. I would say, to believe in yourself is the greatest thing, especially in the beginning of this. Like, I had so many people say, fireworks? Like, are you crazy? Like, yeah, go blow up yourself. And, there were so many different aspects of it because it's so weird and it's so off the beaten path. Most girls are doing hair and eyelashes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it was just, I needed something that I could be passionate about. And I've worked so many aspects where I was working with everybody else on their projects, and everybody else's projects was successful, but I never took a bet on myself. So this is the first time that I turned around and I said, okay, I've always done it for everybody else. Why haven't I done it for myself? And that's what really led me to where I'm at now, is really trusting in I could do it. I did it for them. Why can't I do it for myself?
All right, I love that. I love that. I really do love that because I could attest to some of what you're saying because like you said you've spent a lot of time co-hosting, assisting people with helping them get their dreams to fruition. But then you've taken the time to now do it for yourself.
Mhm.
Now, people who's watching, people who's listening, you've heard us mention many times that we see each other at different events like sound clashes and nighttime parties and clubs. But as of late, as of I would say over the last year, I've started to see Siobhan at more networking events. So you mentioned community and all the different people that you've met. Why did you start showing up at these events, or what what was important to you about that?
Yeah, it was a complete shift for me because like I had all those other businesses and my approach to them was just different. Um and being in the restaurant business and the nightclub business, it had its own market already. And people were already looking for food and they were looking for a venue to rent. So to manage that and be a part of that was simple enough. Again, Topaz was run by me and my cousin. He's still there. Big up Fresh Cut. Um, and that even started out of something very simple too, because when we started Topaz per se, um, Fresh Cut Juices was looking for a home. So we were looking for a kitchen to build the juices on a bigger
Bigger
scale.
scale.
So that's what really bred Topaz. So the business was the kitchen, the juices, and then the hall for the events, and then the kitchen itself for food became the third aspect of it. So it's a matter of, breaking down the different aspects of it and making it all make sense.
Now you see, again, you learn something new every day, because I didn't even know. I knew about Topaz when it first opened, but and I also knew about the juices, but I didn't know that it was the juices that was at the forefront of that whole campaign.
Yeah, well, the juice was the business. The juice started the business and drove the business, and that's where it really started, that we needed a home for the juices. So the juice was part one, and then the hall was part two, and then the kitchen came in at the last. And right now the kitchen is
Is
at the
primal.
forefront, and then the hall is at the second, and the juices is at the last. So again, you just never know what's going to make sense until you actually put it into play, right?
Definitely. So I also got to take a second and big up Fresh Cut as well, because I will tell anybody, I believe Topaz probably has the best food in the city. Many times I leave from the east end of Durham
Yeah,
to drive to Topaz, and
yeah,
and what I was
it,
gonna say is, every time when I don't make the journey, anytime I have to go meet a client in Mississauga or anywhere around there, I always make sure I stop at Topaz to get my food. I actually went to uh to New York the other day, and I told the people who were driving with, I said, I have to make a stop before we go. I
wait, 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 wait. Don't piss me off right now. So you were at World Bash too?
I had to sneak
Yo,
in and
yo, yo,
out.
brother, yo, brother.
You seen everybody was there. You know I'm not gonna
Let's
miss
keep
that
it.
show.
Let's keep it. I'm not gonna turn into fine China. Harry, Siobhan. I'll keep.
To be honest with you, I thought I would have seen you there. I was like, okay,
Not
I'm gonna
talk
see
about that right now. Let's keep it very.
Yeah, you know what? Let me skip
Good.
that story there. Let
Thank
me
you.
skip that
I
story there.
appreciate that.
What I was leading to was, when I was at Topaz, I noticed Topaz, you guys, they have a new drink of sea moss drink, or
Yeah.
Iris Moss, and I want to say that that's also probably the best sea moss drink that I've had in this city. So shout out to Fresh Cut Juices, people. Make sure you go check them out at Topaz. Now, Siobhan, we hear about the different events you attend. We hear about
Wait,
the
hold on. Let me
network.
ask you a question. What's your favorite food at Topaz?
My favorite food, Escovitch fish, Escovitch snapper,
Mm,
well done
mm.
with rice and peas. And if they got breadfruit, I'm adding a breadfruit. Or if they have bami, I'm adding a bami. And most often, I'm also gonna get a seafood soup as well. You see, when I go to Topaz, because I don't live around there, I gotta make sure I get everything I need one time.
Cool. Cool. All right. For me, I love the pasta. I like the shrimp and lobster pasta, garlic, and I love the brown stew fish. Oh, a steamed fish too. Like, man, depends on my mood.
Listen, I have to keep myself in order, because everything you mentioned I like there as well as the salmon. When you go get the veggie meals, the pasta, you get so much food. But like I
That's
said,
the
I
good
gotta like
things are good.
I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
keep myself at bay when I go to Topaz.
yeah. Well, big up Fresh Cut the chef. He cooks from his heart, and that's one thing I can give to him.
Yeah, we definitely attest to that. Now, Siobhan, we talked about the different events that you go to. I know sometimes I see you at nightclub events, I see you at networking events,
Mhm.
and on top of that, your business, your fireworks business, is open 24 hours. So we know you're up all hours of the night. We know you're all parts of the city. But I also heard you mention that you're a parent.
Oh
So
yeah.
how do you balance your work life and your personal life?
Oh, it's a juggle. I do the best that I can at this point, but I've got a 23-year-old, I've got an 18-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So, the spread is pretty big that the bigger ones can take care of the younger ones. But the younger one, she's doing pretty good. Last night she came and she brought me a bowl of cereal. So she made me her first meal, so to speak.
Nice.
So, she was very proud of herself, and I was very proud of her. As simple as it was, she went and she got the bowl, she poured the milk, and she brought the cereal and the spoon. So, amen for that.
So how do you avoid getting burnt out? Pun intended.
Recently, I had to really stop myself and really like sit down because I was doing way too much, like way too much. And the thing is that when you're doing the most, your body will shut you down.
Oh yeah, your body will tell you.
Yeah, your body will shut you down. And I went and I went and I had a ear candling experience. Have you ever had your ear candled?
So I've heard of it, like, but I've seen it. I don't know whether I've seen a video, but I seen a video and somebody was telling me about it. But they were telling me it was more like I think they had to like get like was getting like wax out their ear or something like that, or there
Okay.
was some other process
So
to
let
it.
me tell you, all right? So when I went to the London airport and we did that show out there, the planes, like, we were right on the tarmac. So, and that day they had an air show with the planes that do the loop de
Yeah,
loops. And
yeah, yeah, and the smoke and all them.
right. So they were right, like if I had to jump up I could touch the plane.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
that
how
low.
that's how close they were. They were
Wow.
right there above us. So like I left out of that place deaf. Like it was so deafening. So it took me a while after that, like my hearing. So I was like, maybe it's the wax, maybe it's the what, I don't know. So there's a place right there at Milner, McCowan and Milner.
By where the Quiznos was.
McCowan and Milner in the
Oh,
plaza, right,
McCown and Milner by the
like,
bakery, I think.
right where the Princess Auto is.
Yep, 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 yep,
There's the
yep, yep.
Winners in that plaza. There's a place in there. I just went in there last week, and she does ear candling. So it's the most soothing experience ever. Um, she what they do is they put a candle in your ear with wax, and it as the candle burns, it draws the wax out of your ear.
Okay, yeah, it's something like that. Something like that I heard, but I couldn't figure out like what.
Yeah. So it's really cool. I really recommend it. I'll send you the link for the lady who does it, another black lady, so another black business to support. Great woman. Um, yeah, it was a really cool experience.
So is that something that you had to do because you were around the drones and that loud noise?
I think it was a twofold. I think it was for me, I was because she also does like a face massage with it. So it was a
Oh,
relaxing thing, but it was also a health thing. So it was something that I did, like, as I said, like my body was in crisis. So I went in there and she was like, okay, like first let's start. So that's where I started. And it's just a matter of really maintaining a healthy regime and a healthy routine is what I'm learning. And I needed to add a lot more sleep into my sleep was so broken up because when the phone rings, I got to get up and
you gotta
go.
get up.
Right. So I've learned to concentrate a couple of hours together. And in those hours, the kids handle the calls.
All right, all right. I love that. So with that being said, because you mentioned some of the things you got to do for your health,
Mm.
you mentioned the family balance. So Siobhan, how do you stay motivated and inspired during challenging times in your business and in your life?
Every time the phone rings, like every time a customer calls with a different reason that I never thought of before, that inspires me. So it gives me a whole new line of avenue of promotion. I never even thought about that. Okay, so now I can promote to this market.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with you there because even just from watching your different posts and the different people that you're meeting and the different events that you're going, there's even things that are clicking in my. I was like, oh, I never even realized that people would do fireworks for that. And then I seen you promoting some sort of device that spins around and lights up and different things, and I was like, oh, like you should have seen me. I'm there trying to figure out, okay, how can I incorporate this into like one of these pop-up shops or something.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's even jogging my idea. So I want to give you kudos for posting and sharing your entrepreneurial journey with the people as well.
And that's it, you know, the more that I speak to people and I'm saying now, okay, so what do you, because my first, when I'm going into these networking things, I'm saying, okay, so what are you up to? What are you into? Oh, I'm about to, and I'm saying, okay, so fireworks. They're like, oh yeah, I never even thought about that. So, you know, I just like, you know, I just creep it into their head. I find out what are you doing? Like, what are you, how can I celebrate you? And how can I elevate what you have going on?
Well, I want to shout you out for that again. Let me take a second and I want to shout out some of the people I see tuning in and commenting. I want to shout out Dr. Patsy. I want to shout out Shanae from For Divine Beauty Wellness.
Hey
I
girl,
want to shout
hey.
I want to shout out now I know she did some time at Topaz as well, so she was
Hey,
also co-signing a
yeah,
lot of what
yeah.
you were saying as well. Also want to shout out my longtime associate DJ Stubbs. Want to shout out your favorite princess and We Craft Creations, Brimstone Gold. I want to shout out Papa Ray's Donuts, Luna Soul Author, Lala Baby. We have a whole bunch of people tuning in, so I want to shout out all
Big
the
up, big
viewers.
up, big up.
Also
Hey,
see
everybody.
Prophet
Hope to
there
see
as
you at
well.
a networking event near you. I'll be at the cookout tomorrow. That so far has been my favorite. I went to Stacks last week. That was actually really cool. Um, yeah, I'm really enjoying so you asked me why networking now instead of sound clashing or whatever. Sorry, so it's interesting that, you know, I was in Topaz for so long and to be there, you know, stuck behind the bar and you know, you can't leave until everybody leaves and you know, have to run people out at the end of the night and warring with people to leave the building. Okay, people, thanks for coming. Get home safe. You know, it was nice to move into a different industry. And for me, I had no idea that this culture or this community of networking even existed. So I went to the first one, and then, you know, you get onto their newsletter, and then you start seeing a few people, and they add you, and you add them. And then as I started scrolling through my timeline, I'm noticing that based on the people who I'm connecting with, I'm in a whole different community now. And this community of people, just like how there's sound clash on a Monday, if we really want a Monday, you know, we can find a war, and if we want a war on a Friday, we can find a war. If we want a war on a Saturday, if we really want it, you and I can find a war anywhere,
Yep.
any day, don't it?
Yep.
Right. So when I stopped and I looked and I was like, wait a minute, there's the exact same community out there for business people. Like, how come I didn't know about this? And then I'm getting there, and as I was saying to you, sometimes there's two, three, four in a day. And I was like, how do you pick? How do you know? Like how did this happen? And I didn't know this was happening in the city. And
Yep.
then it just expanded. And as I started going to some of them I really liked, and some of them I hated. Like I walked into one, and the man was saying, "Oh wow, you know, just me being here, I lost $70,000 being." And I was like, "Excuse you?" So, you know, some of them are for you and some of them are not for you. So, it's just for you to really get out there and see what resonates for you. And you're welcome to attend and you're welcome to leave. And the more I attended, I started to really hone in on the ones that made sense to me. It was a little bit easier to cipher out and siphon out the ones that won't work. Some of them I still really love, and I try to get to two of them at a time, but I'm finding that two in a night is it just like I'm in one anticipating the next, and I don't really get to enjoy myself fully. So I'm trying to now single book and just get out there and really immerse myself and meet new people.
Just like you said, it's important because you get to see new people, you get to see new faces, and also when you're attending these different events, you kind of start to create your own niche, and the more you attend, the more you find out about. So
Exactly.
just like you were leading to, you said just like how we if we wanted a party or a sound clash any day of the week, um, there's a there's a networking event, a marketing event, a speaking engagement that you could find any day of the week, any part of the city. Me and you often joke on social media saying, "Hey, why didn't you tell me about this one? Why didn't you tell me about that one?" But then it's because we're so busy. We're each at different events that sometimes we cross paths and sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
Even myself, like people are always surprised at how much different events that I go to in one day. I'll be in Durham, in Whitby at an event, and then 2 hours later, somebody sees me pop up in Brampton. But
Yeah.
myself, I find it, because of what I do and the market that I'm in, I try to hit as much different events as possible because again, I got the networking, I got different events I want to let people know about. But then because I also do the graphic designing and printing, the
Right.
more the more businesses that I network with, the better it is for myself as well. But I do get to situations where I get to an event and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to leave this event.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave this event. So
That's what happened to me with the cookout. When I went to the cookout that first time, like I had two other events that night, and I got in there and I was like, man, like I, and so it just went to the top. I love the environment, I love the food, and just the energy that was in that space was just great. So shout out to Kareem, you know, the Tech Effect, for providing, a great community.
all right, all right. So let me ask you this. You mentioned earlier on about the beginning stages of your business. You mentioned you had a lot of inventory that you obtained. So how did you fund the initial stages of your business?
Huh. Just some savings, really. Like I just kept flipping money. Like, I'd buy fireworks and then it would sell out and I'd take it back and flip it and just kept doubling back until I was able to make some, like, go now to the manufacturer and be like, okay, maybe I need to start buying in bulk. And the more you buy, the more your increase in your price and your discounts, and just in buying in bulk just works out.
All right, makes sense, makes sense. Sometimes you gotta bootstrap it, and like you said, use your savings, and then it's a flourishing business. So like you said, you gotta sell so you can make back, and sell
Yeah,
so
I
you can
was
make back.
flipping and doubling back, like in the hours, like take an hour and double it back and flip it back and just doubling and doubling and doubling until it made sense.
All right, so we heard you with the video disclaimer earlier on, right? And we know this industry deals with a lot of explosives, pyrotechnics, and different things like that. So how do you manage the risks and responsibilities of such a business when you're out with clients or when you're making that sale? Are you giving them that disclosure? Are you giving them that information as well?
Absolutely. With every purchase, you receive a pamphlet that tells you to be a good neighbor, which is the campaign brought on by the National Fireworks Organization. That's the campaign that they communicate to Canada in general. So they work with the feds and the local city provincials to regulate the sales and permits for fireworks. So they provide a whole educational film. There's a clip, there's a pamphlet. So, with each sale, you receive a pamphlet on how to safely use the firework and how to safely use the firework within your community.
All right, I love that. Now, is that something that you were doing from since the onset of your business, or is that something had to that you decided to do afterwards, or like,
Well, we had our own pamphlet that we were giving out that was telling you like, share, follow, how to use it, and when we realized the government had their own, which they call be a good neighbor, we just partnered with them and just incorporated what they had with, including with what we had, and we just try to really educate each person to be safe.
all right, I love that. I love that. Again, you're sticking with what's out there, not confusing the customer, and at the same time making sure that everybody's safe. So I want to give you a shout out with that. Now, you mentioned that you've gone to different community events, you've gone to different cultural events. How do you plan to give back to the community or society through your entrepreneurial success?
Well, we're partnering with different initiatives. Um, Particularly, I'd like to work with the cancer kids. Um, at the completion of their cancer treatment, I would like to get together a package. You know, they deserve fireworks. At the end, for those who don't know, when you're a kid with a childhood cancer, they follow you right through to the end. And when you get to your 18th birthday, they give you an end of care package, which gives you a binder with all of the treatment that you received, all of the doctors that you've seen. And in that end of care treatment, I would love to be able to say, here's a firework. You've been through so much. Light this up, celebrate you.
All right. I love that. I think that's a great idea because, again, like you said earlier, there's so many different reasons to celebrate. So, um, life is one of the greatest things to celebrate. So I
Exactly.
definitely
So
agree with you there.
imagine that you've been through cancer, you survived, you deserve fireworks.
All right. All right. So a couple more questions, Siobhan. Um, was there a moment, was there an event, whether it was before your entrepreneurial journey started with fireworks or during the fireworks, or even feedback from a customer about what fireworks has meant to them or done for you?
Well, I did a wedding and it was so touching. When they came out, the couple came out and they had like a sparklers exit. So there was a whole line of family on both sides of them and they had the long sparklers. And then as the couple walked through the tunnel of sparklers, the fireworks went off at the end. So, it was such a special moment for me. And I was like, when we saw the footage at the end and how it worked out, I was like, okay, this is perfect.
All right. So do customers often ask you to be at events, or is it certain fireworks that need administration?
Well, there's different levels of fireworks. So there's fireworks for personal use, and then there's in fireworks for industrial use, which you need certification and license to use.
Okay, yes, you did mention that.
Yeah, so there's two different angles of it. So there's always fireworks that you could do yourself, or you can come in and we can do the big bangs.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, so Siobhan, we know you're on social media. How do you approach marketing and branding to stand out in a crowded marketplace?
Well, I try to be in person. I am the best representative of the brand. Usually when I step into the room and I say I'm the fireworks lady, everybody turns and says, "What? You're the what?" So just that within itself gets its own attention and usually requires further explanation. So the more that I'm out there, that's the biggest pusher of the brand. But as you say, I'm always posting. I'm constantly posting. I'm a walking billboard. So I'm also not only promoting my own stuff, but I'm also cross promoting everybody and anybody I come across. So big up everybody who I try to work with and try to get out there.
All right, all right. I love that. Um, Also want to shout out Fresh Cut tuning in. He's giving you your kudos. He's saying, it's also because you're very pretty as well. So he says that's another one of your marketing tools
Oh
that
boy.
you can use to your
Big
advantage.
up Fresh Cut.
So Siobhan, tell the people how they can find you, where they can find you, or what they got to do if they got a celebration.
Oh, well, you can find me at Flick Fireworks on all media platforms. Give me a call for 647-694-9099. 24 hours, we're open.
And again, people, she's not just open 24 hours, she is working 24 hours. If you stay posted to her social media, the proof is in the pudding. So, Siobhan, before we go, do you have any final words for any entrepreneurs out there? Anybody that's watching who has a business idea and they're hesitant to start it, or who is in business and they're thinking of quitting because business is slow? I'm giving you the floor to talk to the entrepreneurs out there and let them know anything that you feel is important.
Well, the key is really to never give up. In every disappointment, in everything anything bad that's happened to me along the way, there's always been an opportunity. So for every disappointment, look for the greater opportunity. That has to be the greatest advice that I received and have internalized and used, because I've received disappointment, I've heartache, headache, everything. And in each of those categories, there's been an equal opportunity that's been greater if I just looked at it the right way. So that has always been it. Every time I'm sitting down and I want to cuss people or anything, as I say, take the fireworks now, and I can sit down and think about, where's the opportunity in this? Where is the opportunity? God, show me the opportunity. And in each time, there has been something that has been great,
All right, I think that's beautiful advice. I think everybody could learn from that.
because we
You've given
all
us.
experience disappointment, heartache, in all these different bad things, quote unquote. And if you really stop and look at it, in every single one of those, there's some kind of an opportunity.
Yeah, there's always a lesson to learn. It's just a matter of how you deal with it. Some people, something will happen and they're down and they're out, but then there's other people that use that as learning experiences or another reason to keep going. So I definitely got to agree with you there. I think those are some beautiful words of wisdom. um you've given us so much backstory. I've known you for so long, and I've even learned some new information today. So I hope the viewers have as well. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for being with us today. And I know I'm going to see you at many events in the future. So again, I want to thank you for taking the time to be right here on EPG Biz Talk, behind the brand.
There we go.
All right. So people, we're going to say bye to Siobhan for now. Siobhan, say bye to the people.
Good night, people. Have a great night. I'm going to put the young one. I hear the footsteps. All right,
All
everybody,
right.
good night. Check me out at a networking event near you. Don't forget, you can always get great food at Fresh Cut, Topaz, Fresh Cut juices. My favorite juice is a pineapple juice. And oh, if you get a chance, have you tried the carrot? Have you ever tried the
Listen,
carrot?
listen, I drink all of them. Okay. There's time
So,
I go to Topaz and I'm spending as much in juices as I am in food.
see it there. So for people who don't know, either the fireworks or the food, you could always find me. And again, we love to eat. So, food, fireworks, dub plates. Catch me somewhere near you.
All right, people, Siobhan, good night and
Y'all
thank
be
you
blessed.
very
See
much.
you soon.
People, we have just spoken with Siobhan Chin, also known or better known as Fine China, or as I like to say, the finest China. So shout out to Siobhan. I've known her for so many years, and as she mentioned, we've crossed paths along the entrepreneurial journey so much times and so frequently. She started out as a radio host. She moved on to assisting her cousin in the restaurant. She was selling juices. She was behind the bar. She was organizing events, helping to manage bookings in the club. And then she decided to spin it around and she decided to kind of focus on something for herself. She wanted to push her own business. So she got into the fireworks business. And even since then, in a couple short years, I've seen Siobhan elevate her business to new levels. She needed to get her website done. She got herself on social media. Even when she needed some assistance with her website, of course, she called EPG. We helped her where we could, and and then I've seen the elevation since then. I've seen she's moved on to the 24 hours. She's doing deliveries, and if you listened carefully, people, she's not just focused on the now. She also has long-term and short-term goals. So she's looking for a location. And again, she's getting her pilot's license to handle all the different drones. So again, we love to see the elevation. We love to see the progress. And I hope you guys have learned something today. And again, use these stories as motivation for your business. Like Siobhan said, you just got to keep going. Sometimes things may be rough, sometimes things may be slow, but use that as elevation and a reason to keep going. It's all about EPG Biz Talk, behind the brand. Let me take a second and big up some of the viewers. I want to big up Fresh Cut. I see Lorraine West punching in. I want to big up Dr. Patsy. I also want to big up some of the earlier guests that was here, Goss Debbie, uh, Photo Booth Mementos, and so much people. People, you got to make sure you guys are tuning in live. If you got a business, if you got a brand, and you want to be on the show, give us a shout. We are here to help the entrepreneurs grow. My name is Ja Wiggs, all about the biz. We will be back next week, Monday, next week, Wednesday. But before we go, I have to let y'all know about some different events that we have coming up. So again, first thing we got to make sure we mention is this coming December the 10th, Sunday between 11 to 7, we will be back at the Ajax Community Center for the 5th annual Durham Region Holiday Marketplace. Day 3, free admission, all ages welcome. We have so much surprises in store for the patrons and for the attendees. So make it a date. Do not be late. In addition to that, if you're looking for some nighttime fun, if you're looking to relax and hear some great music, check out Juggle and Bubble, a thing called Holiday Style, taking place Saturday, December the 16th, right there at Diamonds Nightclub in Pickering, Brock Road, and Taunton. And the next day, earlier in that day, we will be at East York Town Center inside Manifest Bookstore for the Manifest Bookstore book launch. We will be showcasing authors, various authors, local authors, once a month at this location. Again, free entry. And for the holiday bliss, you can get your picture taken with the African Father Christmas, also known as Kente Claus. People, it's EPG Biz Talk behind the brand. We are here every Wednesday. Make sure you tune in. And if you're tuning in, make sure you turn it up. We'll be back next week with more. Let's go. So we always have to remember that with branding, branding is not just a logo. Branding is not just a name. A brand is a part of your trademark. It's not just a trademark. It's not a symbol or a jingle. A brand is part of you. It's part of your business. So to understand what a brand is, you must first understand that your brand does not exist in your marketing department or your public relations team or your CEO's office. A brand only exists in the minds of your customers. So simply put, a brand is the sum total of all of the impressions that a customer has based on every interaction that they had with you, your company, your products. Each time these interactions tells a story to your customers.